How to do, everybody? Welcome to Variety Conversation. I am Lady Walker. So, hillsong ex-pastor Laura Lentz, ex-mistress Ranin Karim is on media tour, that is tabloid prints and TV, talking about her 5 months rendezvous with Laura Lentz. Before I go any further, let me straighten out an error I made in my first vlog, expatiating on this situation. I said Laura Lentz was pastoring at Hillsong Church in New Jersey when it should have been New York. Okay, my mistake there, y'all. Thanks for pointing that out to me loud and clear. Now, on with the update. Ranin Karim was interviewed by Amy on Good Morning America, and I don't believe it will be her last TV interview. By her having had a relationship with Carr, it has probably given her a financial as well as a career boost. Ka-ching! She gets an economic boost, and he's terminated from pastoring at Hillsong Church, which more than likely affected his bank account for the time being. But, of course, the man probably has a nice side financial nest egg somewhere in spite of the firing, okay? Still, he had a lot more to lose, including money, than Ranin. After all, he's the one in seclusion, and she's out spilling the beans. Okie dokie, check this out.
Did he tell you he loved you?
Yes, he did.
Did you love him?
Are you married? And he said, I am, but he doesn't wear a ring. You never ever see him wearing a ring.
When he told you he was married for 17 years and had 3 kids, did you think, I can't be with him, I can't date him? Or did you think, I'm okay with that?
I was like, it's all good. I was married before, and I didn't want to judge him because I was like, I like to meet people and feel like they're like a blank canvas, you know? You get to know them and you let them paint their own colors on it. You don't go and just put stickers on people and think they're gonna be that and gonna be this. And I didn't want to do that to him because I didn't want to judge. And he keeps saying, I manage celebrities and I travel with them. He didn't want to say what he does.
Did you think that was a red flag? He won't give you his last name?
Yeah, it was. Because, I don't know, it was really strange. I realized that he's the pastor from Hillsong, and I was like, oh, I was at this church like 6 years ago.
You had been to Hillsong?
One time. I told him, I know who you are, and I'm not here to judge you, but I have a question. I was like, there's something wrong with your marriage that you're sitting here with me? He said, no, it's like, it's you. Yeah. He called me at midnight, and he said, my wife, he was in the hallway. You can hear he was in the hallway. He's like, my wife found out, and I gotta go. And I was like, I feel bad for her. You know, woman to a woman, I don't think she deserved to be hurt the way that she did, and I never meant to hurt her.
Anyway, old girl says she feels bad for Carr's wife and that she never meant to hurt her. Dang, Ranin, how you let that lie come out of your mouth so effortlessly? I mean, really? Because if you didn't want to hurt her, you wouldn't have gotten involved in a 5-month sexual relationship with Laura's husband. Of course, Carr is no innocent person in this. After all, he initiated it, but it was a consensual, intimate relationship. But it still doesn't make it right. And that bull crap about a blank canvas on not judging Carr, please, Carr's canvas was not blank. It was neon in living color with married with children. How is it that she couldn't see that to judge the situation as not to enter into it? Just a liar, liar, pants on fire. She said that he said there were no problems in his marriage, but that it was just something about her. I guess you can say he was wearing the cloak of lust, which drove him to act irrationally. Okie dokie. If you're in a marriage or a committed relationship with a partner where everything is hunky-dory, why do you feel the need to cheat on your partner? Unless it is one of those just because. Well, just because one day you will be found out if you keep this sheetation up. Do you hear me? Do you hear me now? Anyway, side note, have you ever heard a guy say to a girl, "Ooh, wee, you are one bad mama jamma. You got to be tired because you have been running through my mind all night long." I felt the need to interject that for a split of so many seconds. But I'm sure Carl is very much ashamed and sorrowful with a contrite heart for his misdeeds. And unfortunately, he cannot turn back the hands of time and erase any wrongdoings he committed. He needs to come to the realization that the best time to work on an unhealthy and or boring marriage is before cheating, so that it won't get to the point of cheating. Moving on, Ranin says she just wants to move on with her life. Well, I never. Why? Why in the Jim Dandy heck is she doing interviews with tabloid newspapers and TV interviews if she just wants to move on with her life? Unless, to her, that's part of moving on. To me, it looks like she is looking for that fame trolley and a big payday. Moving on up to the top, where she finally get a piece of the pie. Remember the Jefferson? She may have fallen in love with him, and of course, according to her, he told her that he loved her, and now she is hurting like the Dickens because when push comes to shove, Carl chooses to stay with his family. I know that he is a human being who makes mistakes, as we all are. I know that he is not perfect, not even as a Christian. I am well aware that he is not God, as none of us are. But for 5 sultry, wild, mind and body blowing months, he carried on an infidelity relationship with Ranin. And if he hadn't have gotten caught, it could have gone on much longer. I understand your sentiment to judge not, but there are times when a person commits an act of sin, that person needs to be called on it. How else would that person know that he or she needs to correct a bad destructive behavior if they are never called on it? If they are never corrected, they would keep doing the wrong deed. It's not judging the person, it's judging the person's actions. And unfortunately, when you are in such a high-profile public position as Carl was, such news is going to be known far and wide than the average Joe or Jane cheating. It goes back to you get to make your own choices, but you do not get to choose your consequences. God has placed a standard for those in a position of pastoral authority. For a pastor living contrary to what he or she teaches and preaches could negatively impact the flock he or she is ministering to. As a pastor, you are to set the example of how to live a spiritually and morally sound life. And you can't set a good example if you are living not up to your teaching and preaching of God's word. Also, it's a given that God forgives. He's a forgiving God. But it's possible that God said to Carl more than once to stop engaging in sexual sin outside of his marriage. And Carl didn't. He ignored what was the voice of the Lord, and his voice grew callous because the voice of lust got on the intercom and spoke louder, wherefore he received the invitation to wine and dine out with it, which eventually led to him being exposed, reaping repercussions and consequences that he couldn't see coming. Y'all, let this be a lesson to you. Cheating on your spouse or partner will come back to bite a hefty chunk out of your derriere when you give in to sexual relations with someone outside of your marriage or relationship, unless you just don't care, or maybe you're in an open relationship. You can never underestimate what the person you are cheating with would do when you decide to break off the relationship. Also, if you are going to cheat, you better not link your iPhone to your computer through iCloud because it can expose your cheatation to those you don't want it to be exposed to. One more thing. Ranin told the Daily Telegraph that Carl bragged of having the best sex in his life. Y'all, the best sex in his life during their affair, and that he couldn't stop being with her. It seemed as though Carl opened up that Pandora box. Ranin didn't make any marital vows to Laura. Heck, she's not practicing spiritual morality. After all, she said she was a Muslim and that she didn't know anything about the Christian world Carl was part of. So, it is reported somewhere that Carl and his family moved to LA and he and Laura are in intense therapy. But those text messages between Rainy and Carl had to have been something mighty salacious for the eyes of Laura to see and behold. You know, I hate it when we, and I say we because we are all guilty of having done or in the process of doing something wrong. Maybe not to the magnitude as Carl, but I hate it when we put ourselves in various good-for-nothing situations that have a tendency to come back and slap us in the face, upside the head, and they kick in the derriere. It's one of those situations where you can charge it to us being what? Human beings. Anyway, enough said. If you like this channel, go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment. Also hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I upload a new video. Feel free to share your perspective on said topic. And in the meantime, beloveds, y'all come back to visit me when you can. Oh, you dope. Ta-ta.